Up next on the Elevated Podcast.
Bro, this episode is all about aligning your mind, spirit, and heart posture to the true you.
What am I most comfortable with? What do I love? And how can I grow in that area? Because we're meant to be here to grow.
And spoiler alert, resting, reflecting, and reconnecting with God and self is what will get you there.
Learning to appreciate that gets you much further than combating it.
What's good, Elevation Nation, and welcome to the Elevated Podcast, where we provide personal development coaching to emerging leaders so that they can thrive in their inner tugging, their it. I'm your host and coach, Christian. So are you ready to rest, reflect, and connect or reconnect? Then let's go. Listen. Let's start by aligning our spirit with some breath work to tap into our passion, all right? And so we're going to go ahead and go straight in. And I want you to listen to these words that I'm about to say. Just listen to them. Matter of fact, you can close your eyes now if you desire to, but here it goes, right? Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Look, be that area of being from who you were created to be, from God within you, around you, amongst you, is all around, right? Life source, whatever. Listen. You got to come from the area to realize and recognize that a part of being, from our being, not we're human beings, not human doings, right? But being still in that place. There's a place of stillness, a place of rest, a place of revelation, that if we are right there where you are, if you're able to just close your eyes and be still. And the other part is knowing. It's an area from within where you realize that I'm connected to God, that I'm connected in a way that I'm supposed to operate. And there's nothing that can hinder that process. That's not about anything that's external right now, but looking within and being still and knowing intimacy, knowing that place, knowing that posture. I am, the part I am in Exodus, God refers to himself as his name as the I am God. So look in that area of God, of Yahweh. When we breathe in, look, Yah. Way. Come on, somebody, look. Yeah. Way. That's breathing in and out. In him we live. In him we breathe. In him we have power and we have all those things. So now, look, if you haven't already, go with me, close your eyes, because we're about to do some breath work. We're about to take some deep breaths. So go there with me right now. And I want you to close your eyes where you are and take a deep inhalation through your nose with me. Come on, look. And hold it, and then release it out your mouth. Come on, somebody. We're going to do that again. In through your nose. Hold it. Out through your mouth. Yeah, relax. Just if there's any tension in this last one we're going to go ahead and do, just let that out. When you breathe in life, breathe in love, breathe in a power, breathe in healing, breathe in joy, breathe in all those, breathe it in with me. Hold it. Come on, out, negativity out, frustration out, all the things that can hinder us, the things that we got to do next. Look, just release all those things. They're out. All right, come on, somebody. So now we're at that place. We're aligned. We're present in his presence. Come on, we are present in the presence of God. So if you need more time, you can press the pause right now, right here, and continue to rest and reflect on what God is revealing to you. And if there's anything else that you need to go ahead and process, you can go ahead and just process that, and then hit play after you're done, and we're going to go ahead and continue to go ahead and move to the next phase. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go ahead and type it and if you're on YouTube, and if you're just listening, then you can go ahead and say it out loud, but go ahead and type or say, I'm ready for the next phase. Come on, y'all. Come on. Let's go. I'm ready. I am ready. Listen. It's time to go higher in our Christ mind. It's time for us to overcome fear-based thinking and tap into our comfort zone. Yeah, you heard me right. Tap into your comfort zone. Somebody can say that out loud, even if you don't fully understand it right now. We're getting ready to go there, Elevation Nation, but you should, because you realize that I recently had the awesome opportunity to interview Kristen Butler, the power of positivity. And to tell you the truth, her book helped to change the game for me, right? And I'd like for you to go ahead and hear that.
For me, being at rock bottom, being in bed for 2 weeks, feeling like I failed God, that I failed myself, that I just didn't even feel like I deserved to be here, shaming myself after really letting every area of my life fall apart, kind of falling into that system of constantly working, constantly grinding, constantly hustling, chasing the
Mhm.
carrot, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
being at that place, gratitude and thankfulness for what God's given me in that moment. Sure, it wasn't where I thought I'd be at that time, but gratitude is what started to get me out of bed and move through. And I still use it today when I'm having a rough day or going through a challenge. Gratitude is everything. It's thankfulness, the energy of that is so powerful. And it
Mhm,
really can take you out of such a dark, negative place or a
mhm.
judgmental place and put you right where you should be, because there's always a perspective that you can find that is positive, that is good. There's something going right at every minute, but it takes our focus, our intentional focus, to look for that. And the more we look for that, the more we practice that, the more we find it, the more we seek it. So that's one very quick and easy and simple way that we can get in our comfort zone, because our comfort zone is where we find and feel all those positive emotions, where we can access joy, where we can access peace in a moment of stress. And so gratitude was my first emotion that it really helped me to get out of bed, start brushing my teeth again, start, calling people, because I really did kind of let go and just, sulk in bed with all the negativity and rumination of how did this happen? How did I get here? What do I
Mhm,
need to do? So gratitude is first. If you're not in a place of like rock bottom or
mhm.
feeling shameful about your life, but you just want a little bit of more personal growth, I love to just expand my comfort zone. So once you really get to understand, what am I most comfortable with? What do I love? And how can I grow in that area? Because we're meant to be here to grow. And actually, we're our happiest and most authentic when we are growing, but in small increments, right? And in directions and areas we want to go and pursue. So that's really getting to know yourself, understanding your limits and your boundaries, and how you can push that and grow and expand your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be a static place.
Wow, it doesn't have to be a static place. Wow, that's so good. Gratitude. Do you practice meditation at all?
I do, but not as much as I used to. To me, meditation, as a busy mom with 2 kids, it's like I can go out on a walk. And as long as I'm accessing silence and peace and
Mhm.
really being in that present moment and looking around me, that's to me a form of meditation. I find meditation in almost little things that I'm doing that quiet my mind, right? Because I'm
Sure,
always
sure.
thinking.
Absolutely. See, even on the ministry side, the church side, my wife and I, we're talking about the rest of God
Yeah.
as of right now. We've talked about that area, how it's a posture where there's revelation that happens in rest. And
Mm,
so, in such a busy world, I just got off of a meeting with some staff, and I said, we have to be in a place where we, even if we need to schedule the rest, schedule the quiet time, schedule it in to
exactly.
get that thing in. And again, so when, yes, I practice that area, meditation, gratitude, the things that you're sharing. But for me, sometimes it literally is 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, whenever I can get it. Sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's laying in bed, sometimes it's praying, sometimes it's the area of visualization. It's a number of things that get my heart and my mind. But I feel like when I've getting like more agitated or more going to that area, I always say it this way: the more you drive a car, the more you got to fill up. And I think
Mm,
sometimes we will fill up on a Monday, so to speak. And then we'll just go ahead and drive and drive and drive. And we're wondering what's going on, right? Yeah, I know what my comfort zone is. Yes, I appreciate that. But I feel like I'm not able to operate at my greatest capacity. And perhaps it's because, one, we didn't slow down to smell the roses, to practice gratitude, but to be in a posture to be like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and rest. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to be at this place because at that place, I'm able to move forward and get the fullness of joy pertaining to that. So thank you for sharing that. And then you said expanding your comfort zone. I need a little more about that right there because
Yeah.
that seems like coming out my comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Go into meditation. I do want to say, I love meditation. And at first I started guided meditations and all of that. But I think through the practice and through the time, you learn to harness that in just your everyday life. And that's what's really beautiful, that you can get into your comfort zone very quickly when you find yourself getting off balance because you've practiced it. It's just part of you. It's part of your life. And prayer is one of my favorite ways to meditate. That's really embodying gratitude and connecting. And I see that as spiritual self-care to me, because really we need to fill ourselves up, like you said. If we're running, we need to fill up more often. Expanding our comfort zone, to me, I believe that we're here to grow and expand. Look at nature. It's constantly growing and expanding. That's
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
if we're not growing and expanding, we're going to feel stuck. We're going to feel resistance. We're going to feel negativity. It's often because we aren't taking enough action, or we're taking too much. We need to look at nature and find inspiration in that and know that, okay, slow and steady does really win the race. And so
Wow.
if we get into that comfort zone and truly understand our own personal one and learn how to expand it, and harness that momentum, that's where our power is. That's where we access our purpose and we can start doing work that we love and truly living. That's where we can truly live.
Oh, I don't know if it hit you like it hit me, bro, but listen to this, man. The energy of gratefulness. I mean, come on, let's think about that. The energy of gratefulness. Like, what are you grateful for at this moment in time? Look, I know it's a lot of things that we've been processing. I know it's a lot of things that we've been dealing with as emerging leaders. Look, I'm there right there with you, emerging leaders, just hearing that call, that mindset of what we feel like God within is calling for us to deal with and do in this earth realm. And so as we're moving forward, right, we got to tap into that area of energy. Look, even before we ask for anything, seek for anything, let's come from that posture to be grateful. I am grateful. Think about something that you're grateful for and process that, right? Expanding in your comfort zone, she talked about. So that area of the comfort zone is not a bad thing. The comfort zone, that area where you are divinely assigned and unfolded with the reason for what you're here for, that comfort zone that is going to, as you get into it, is going to cause an area of growth. Are y'all with me? Come on, listen. And that point when I mentioned the revelation and rest. And if you're like me, bro, listen, you've been at that place where rest, you're like, huh? What is that? What is that about? I heard an amazing message just yesterday about rest. And so we gotta be in that posture, in that place. Resting doesn't mean that we don't have to just do anything at all, right? That waiting and that resting sometimes is just getting the level of clarity, aligning your mind with God within, being able to rest, being able to reflect and reconnect even to our comfort zone, not complacency. Oh, it's a difference between being complacent, being comfortable, and being at a place of lack and not wanting to do something lazy. We're not talking about any of those things. We're talking about making sure that we have that revelation from God. Oh, man, look, I'm going to take a drink to that. By the way, it's water. So I am pumped up, as you can tell, about this. And it's even time for us to even just operate and do those things. And we're going to go right along and keep this thing moving, because all those things that were dropped, look, they were mic drop moments. And hopefully you are filling up the comment section with so much word and encouragement as we continue to go ahead and move forward. So here's the awesome thing. The awesome thing about it is, as we're even dealing with the area of aligning our mind and getting that rest and that reflection, that reconnection, the awesome part is we aren't even through yet, right? We have realigned that mind and that spirit. Now it's time to deal with our heart posture, and let's take it to relationships. Yes, relationships. My lovely wife and I did a segment on dealing with disagreements in your relationship. And a major part of that conversation was about having a heart and passion to honor you and your spouse's individual identities. We've been hearing so much great insight and feedback pertaining to this, right? We got to operate out of our it. Our it is connected to that individual as well as our collective identities of God within and how we're operating. And you have to check out Lyneesha's perspective on this.
I think it's major because, first of all, if we were both the same or tried to force one another to be like us, our relationship would get boring really fast.
Okay.
Because who needs two people? One person's unnecessary if you're both the same. If you both think the same, you see things the same way,
Necessary?
you bring all the skills, the same exact skill sets. Like, what is there?
Maybe it's just a power. Like, no? Okay.
I don't know. People always talk about like having things in common is different than being the same person.
I understand.
Right? Like we have a lot of similarity, a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
But our personalities and our mindset as far as our like perspective in the world, in the earth realm, is very different.
Yeah.
And I think learning to appreciate that gets you much further than combating it.
Yeah.
Like if I try to spend all my time trying to force you to be like me or even just be who I think you need to be,
That part right there.
We're not getting anywhere because I'm now trying to recreate what God already did. Like God made you. I can't touch that. Only He can shift. Like you said, you prayed some things. Now I know.
Beforehand, don't act that way because the camera's on. Keep going.
But it's God. We're works. God's works of art.
Mm-hmm.
And so only the maker can come in and mold and shape things or shape us into what He wants us to be. But being able to truly appreciate one another where we are and for who we are is powerful.
Absolutely. I agree that that's powerful. Who we are, whose we are. It's easier said than done at times though, because that sounds great and amazing. But when it comes down to it, I probably would say that I flunk sometimes and then I get the quick recall to go ahead and kind of get there. Because I know truth that what you're sharing, even if it's a different perspective, your identity of who you are, like it makes sense. But still some feelings can arise. And I'm like, what's that about? So I think it's really, really important for us to really sit with self, even through this, to really realize who we are. You guys know my story, maybe you don't, where I had dealt with a whole lot of insecurities. And so when I don't know who I am, I can't really honor who you are.
Yeah.
Because now I'm projected or I'm nervous because of this or whatever. If they heard my intro, if I didn't say it, I should edit it in and say I marry a very strong, beautiful woman to move forward pertaining to those things. But here we go with this perspective though. I want to give a real life example before we go to share something else that Elevation Nation can use.
You about to put me out in the streets?
Maybe a little bit. Well, I think it's important to know that for everybody to know that we work together a lot. And so whether it's ministry, business, even in the background, so forth and so on, you're on this podcast every single time, but you're not here usually behind the scenes, but you're still here. But this is where I lead in this area. But you also have your own business. All of our businesses we own together, but we lead differently. Yeah. But you have your business of expanding brands. If you're looking it up, it's not EX, it's expanding brands. Anyway, but with your business, you lead in that area. So we have a uniqueness where we are basically contracting ourselves out to different organizations, so forth and so on. So I can think about one particular time where we had a new employee that we were working with, and we're sitting at the table making a decision as it relates to how the message is going to go out to the specific group. I won't give the details. I don't have permission to talk about the specific thing. And so when this letter came out, through your business, you are on the communication side, the social media side, you're through all that stuff. But for me, in the leading aspect of the coaching and the leadership development, there's two areas. So it came down to me being asked, what did I think? And I was like, I think it's too much. And you were like, well, no, I really think that that's exactly what's needed, because we need to build a know, like, and trust with this particular individual, so forth and so on. Well, I submitted to the information, even though technically I was the boss or the leader at that particular time. And it's those things where I'm saying, like, we can disagree. And I should get a shirt that says, I'm passionate, I'm not angry, because I get passionate, right? I talk with my hands all the time. I'm passionate, but I'm not angry. But we were able to have that and go back and forth. Not like this, oh, yes, no, what do you think, love? It wasn't like that. I was like, nah, this don't make sense to me because this, and this. And then you come from there, you come back, and then so forth. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I don't agree, but this is your lead.
Yeah.
This is your expertise. So I submit to that.
Yeah.
And move forward with that. And we're proceeding with that plan pertaining to that. And I think I'm just sharing that example before you jump in as well, just to say that's putting these things together. Number one, understanding that because we disagree, like, again, it's just different perspectives. Doesn't mean that it's unhealthy. Also, it's the fact that realizing that I honor who you are and your levels of expertise and your being when you're truly being who you are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, we're going to operate with, it's still a team aspect. So I got to respect that. I got to celebrate that. I need to honor who you are and not feel like, well, I'm the man, so I need to go ahead. Nah, I got to pull off of that. Look, I know I'm biased. Yes, it's my wife. But let me tell you what has stuck with me. When she said, having things in common is different than from being the same person. Now, I know that might seem simple to you, but that's so good to me. Having things in common, as you've watched that episode, and as well as the full episode, you should go back and watch that. But being couplepreneurs, if you would say, or power couples, whatever titles you want to go ahead and put out there. Look, Lyneesha and I have been at a place where we realize that we have a lot of things in common. But we're still different, and we have to honor that. And I want to encourage you, bro, as you're processing this, dealing with this, that you celebrate your spouse, that you celebrate the identities, realize what both you and the missus bring to the table, which you are operating from your area. And there is times, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, where I'm literally going to use a curse word that comes out, submit, right? Where scripture talks about submitting to one another. And as you submit, really that's the area of loving a relationship to one another, leaning toward God first and foremost within. So it's not just the area of Christian to Lyneesha the Christian. I see the God in her. She sees God in me. And as we're operating, we're realizing that we're gifted in unique ways. And there's an area for her leadership that I need to realize that that's good, and let's go with it and let's move forward with it. And the same thing she does for me. And so we can be the power, we can be what God has called for us to be. We can be what we're desiring to be, and how we want to move forward, so we can just hear one another out. Listen, practice good listening. Listen, be quick to listen to what is really being said. And sometimes, to be real, it's easier said than done. But we got to process these things here with the ear of the Spirit, pretty much, right? The divine ear, right? And go past our egoic hearing in our ego ear. I say it's bad for the ego side, but go through that, because sometimes the ego protects us from things. But as we go through that and process that, we realize that there's some good things. And there, truth be told, there's some things that our spouse and that we have been sharing. If we just listen to it, it could be a crazy solution. But we have to go ahead and align ourselves and our minds as we're continuing to move forward. But somebody can say, that was so good. And so I want to take some time right now to really encourage you. Yes, you. So whatever distractions or dis-ease or things that have been going on, I want you to be at a posture and place right now to realize that this is my season, this is my time, this is where I am realizing that I am operating, I am getting more clarity in the area of operations from my inner tugging, my passion, my compelling. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect, but there's all excuses are being removed. I've gone by to realize that, if I had no limitations, and that's what I want to tell you, there's no limitations. I know that might be hard to hear, but if I'm operating from that place saying, look, there's no limitations, and I'm going to operate from this tug, from this feel. People might not see what I'm seeing right now, but as I stay committed, as I align my mind to the divine mind, as I'm operating, as I'm getting rest, as I'm reconnecting, as I'm reflecting, there's so much word. Sometimes we look for new word, new insight, and there's so much word that we've already been given. And so let's process that. Let's receive that, and let's continue to go for those things that we are compelled to go for. And look, you have a dynamic team. You got a support team around you. If you would just look within. And look, and I'll be transparent as I always am with you, Elevation Nation. Like, I had so much external validation, and I'm still working through those processes. And sometimes when you're looking at these things and you're saying, look, this is my tug, this is where I feel like I'm operating, this is where I feel like I need to be, there's that area where we just want to sometimes be validated for the external situations. But listen, I'm learning that we have to believe in self. And that's why you got to sit with your it. You got to reflect on your inner tug, and you got to reflect on your passion, your compelling, what it is and how. And then the passion leads to the area of the business, the ministry, or whatever the case of what you're dealing with and doing, or for kingdom advancement. And as you're operating, you have to just sit with that. So join me in sitting with self. And I encourage you just to flow, just to be able to do what it is that you're desiring. Some of you have to just dream again, remove the obstacles, make the decision. Let me tell you that since Lyneesha and I have made decisions, we've made decisions, things continue to work. When I've been wishy-washy, leaving all options open, doing this and doing that, let me tell you, things were not manifesting. But I'm here sitting, whether you realize it or not, in a new studio, a new land, a new place. And I'm here to tell you that when the decision has been made, that doors are opening. So let me encourage you as you move into this week, as you move into this next episode, as you move into that area, that not only just receive it, hear it, align yourselves to make sure that you're following through, right? So if you love this segment and it's awakened you to a higher level and you desire more coaching, then you got to click the link in the description that leads you to coaching, and someone from our team will reach out to you. And maybe you're at that place saying, look, I hear you. I haven't fully identified my it. That's what we're about with Purpose-Filled Life Coaching, as well as the Elevate It podcast. You as an emerging leader, we want you to live in your it. We want you to identify your it. We want you to move forward in that area of that inner tugging. And that's crucially important. So we want you to go ahead and reach out and get connected so we can identify this thing. And eventually, as we're moving forward in there, it's not only just identifying the it, not only living from that, leading from that. It is another realm, and that leading from that it is going to help us to profit. Yes, to profit from that area. And as we walk together, I'm telling you, that's what's going to go ahead and take place. Elevation Nation, thank you as always for joining us. And if you were empowered by this conversation, then you must stay tuned for the next powerful episode. This one that has been designed to help you be aligned with the true you, right? With identifying with your true passion and your purpose, and come from there. So I love you, bro. And you are already blessed.